Gen.YAHANNA will be doing the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles in King James Castle. Finally, the truth about King James, a black man who helped to preserve and safeguard the Bible. Live September 29th, 2023, commanding Gen.YAHANNA live at King James Castle in Scotland. Come on down and support the I.S.U.P.K. UK. Lift the glass, come and join the brotherhood and drink with the ancient as we celebrate and keep the Feast of Tabernacles for our King Yahawashi in King James Castle, bringing his crew of heavy hitters. Commanding Gen.YAHANNA will put 12 shield general behind him. Scripture breakdown class up against anyone, against any biblical scholar, untested, unchallenged, I.S.U.P.K, undefeated. Leviticus chapter 23, the Feast of Tabernacles in a black man's castle, hosted in Scotland, the United Kingdom, UK. Commanding Gen.YAHANNA will be doing the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles in King James Castle. Thursday, September 28th, Scripture Breakdown class. Friday, September 29th, there will be a King James Castle tour. Also, a Johnny Walker Distillery tour. And Friday night, the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles. Saturday, September 30th, we will have camp on the streets of England. Sunday, October 1st, the UK Cookout. Monday, October 2nd, the Warwickshire Castle Tour. I.S.U.P.K under commanding Gen.YAHANNA at King James Castle in England. This is an absolutely monumental, historical event.
Us to stop. But man, don't we deserve a shot? Don't we deserve a shot to beat it over? Israel, let's do it!
You know how it is. I'm like this, it was a heavy nothing's on that. Put your water in here. Yeah, I do need the right water.
I'ma get them crackers, hell should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that. Bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on his Glock and call it young baby. How you real trigger know them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? What he saying something, I ain't him, this shit light. It ain't about who got this gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain. Six shots, I'ma look like Aaron jaws when I run it. Never bite the hand that feeds you. You won't never get that hand back. He bitching about 10%. I don't want to hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him. Just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter. God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, out with that hollow sign. Yeah, this the rim accord. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still about my bread, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get that boy lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my taxes. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle sat in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe the slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember Yohanna's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. There was design fire for our babies to pass through. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
Turn this back here so I don't go back and forth. I want to say Shalam Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, barak ahtham to the brothers. Shalom Yahawah Shamar ahtham Bahasham Yahawashi to the sisters. I'm priest and officer of 1,000 Mashat, and we are the I.S.U.P.K. Started out of 1 West. That's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, way back in 1969. And today, under commanding General Yahanna, we are spreading the truth of the Bible throughout the entire earth. Y'all don't hear me though. I just said we just doing it in Detroit. I didn't say we just doing it in Wayne County. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the earth. There's brothers that look like me. So like it, brother. I need my glasses back there if you could. Baba Kashah. Come on, try. The water. There's brothers looking just like me, doing the same thing tonight, starting at 7 o'clock. We are running a history class. And we're gonna be last week when we did the history class, you know what we did? We just showed you the necessity of you studying your history. We showed you that the Bible, this book right here, we showed you that the Bible say that you need to look to the old ways. You remember that? Let me see if I can get my phone to catch up with where I am. The Bible showed you that we should be what? There we go. The Bible showed you that we should be studying our history. Why? Because the Bible say, look towards the days of yesterday. Look towards the old ways. Look to the ways of your father back in the day. So in other words, just say keep up with your history. You keep up with your history. Get me Deuteronomy. Get me 28. Deuteronomy 28. And we're going to start right there. The Bible says you should look to the old ways. How did your fathers who got on top of the world like Solomon and David, what did they do? And the answer is real simple. They obeyed the law, statutes, and commandment of the Most High. And so now we are where we are today. And I know a whole bunch of y'all want to say, you know, this is not the same place that David and Solomon was in. But I beg to differ. I remember reading where David, he spent a lot of time running from Saul just to save his own life because the Most High picked him to be king. He ain't have time to sit still and study and relax and get comfortable because somebody was trying to kill him. And today, we feel like that. Every time we walk outside the house, we look at our wife, our children, and what we say. I see you when I get home, and we, you know what we do? We whisper under our voice, the Most High will it. I see you when I get up. We don't know. We live in a crazy damn time. But tonight on this history class, what we want to bring out, if I can, what we want to bring out is what you really up against. Because one thing about your oppressor, he's tricky. So we're gonna lay some basic groundwork for what we're gonna talk about. The first thing, get me Deuteronomy 28 and 1. Loudly, please.
In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall come to pass.
It shall come to pass. Now, in the Bible, when you see it shall come to pass, here's an old saying, you can take it to the bank. Remember that saying? You can take it to the bank. I mean, it's going to happen. Read.
If thou shalt hearken diligently.
Hold up. I know y'all want me to deal with that word diligently or hearken. I'm gonna deal with the smallest word in that in that phrase right there you just read. If. What that is, that means this is conditioned. There's a condition set. You see what I'm saying? If. When you see the word if, that means a condition has been set. And yes, this is the history class. If means if. And after the if, it's going to tell you the conditions. If you meet these conditions, then, and if you study computers back in the 80s, hell, the late 70s, early 80s, you understand that's the first thing taught you. If-then statement. If this, then that. If this, then the other thing. If means it is a condition set by the Most High. You understand, Israel? This don't have nothing to do with me. This don't have nothing to do with the officers over me that raised me up. This is the Most High. Read that again.
If thou shalt hearken.
If you shall hearken. So, the first thing you got to do is hearken. And then what comes after that is going to be some consequences. If is the condition. If going to give you the condition. Condition 1, hearken, that means to listen to intensely. What the old folks used to ask us, boy, you paying attention? That's hearken. Read.
Diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
To what? Okay. To what? To what?
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
If. Let's get ready to set conditions. Number 1, thou shalt listen diligently. That means with all purpose. That means with all purpose. Listen to what? To the voice of the Lord thy God. Now, where are you going to find on this earth the voice of Yahawah, our power? Where are you going to find on this earth the voice of the God of all creation? Go ahead.
Here in the U.P.K, sir.
That wasn't what I was looking for, but you are absolutely right. He does exist here. Anybody else want to venture and answer that question?
Like you said, the law, statutes, and commandments.
There it is. It's the Bible. Everybody on the face of the earth has access to it. That's what I'm looking for. You got access to everything. Hollywood, Bollywood, Nollywood. You know what I'm saying? You can do everything you want to. You can get German wood. I don't care. European wood. You got access to everything because of this thing called the internet. But the Bible say, if what? Thou?
If thou shalt hearken.
If you shall listen, read.
Diligently.
Diligently. That means with, watch this, unfettered attention. You got to kind of put blinders on. You know, when a horse running a race, they put these things on his head, they call them blinders. You know why? So he don't get distracted by the shit that's outside of the road in front of him. If you listen diligently, that means if you pay attention and not get distracted, read.
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Unto the what?
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Did it say if you hearken, if you listen diligently to Trump? Read. Unto the voice.
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
What did it say about the Democratic Party? Read. Unto
the voice of the Lord thy God.
You catching the pattern? I'm going to throw something at you, right? Because here's what we teaching the people. When we do it that way, what we teaching the people is that the only thing you be listening to is what? Read.
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
That's called the Bible. From Genesis to Revelation, and you better include Judith and Maccabees, and you better include Ecclesiasticus, and that's called the Apocrypha. We got it here on the face of the earth. We have no excuse not to know it. No excuse not to know it. You see what I'm saying? Read.
Come. To observe and to do.
And the what?
To observe and to do.
Oh, just to talk about.
To observe and to do.
To feel good about what you read in Bible study last Wednesday night.
To observe and to do.
Do you know it's something you got to do, Negro? Do you know it's something you have to do? You see what I'm saying? You can't just, this is not our arrest. I got a brother over here, Officer 5000 Padash, the bar, right? Reminds me every day, Negro, this ain't your rest. Get up and do some work. Care how you, okay? You're 175 years old, so what? Who cares? But you say, this is not our what? Read that. Read that again, what you just read. To observe?
To observe and to do all his commandments.
The ones I like.
All his commandments.
What about the ones my wives like?
All his commandments.
What about when the oppressor come and tell me that homosexual is okay and lawful and I shouldn't say nothing against it?
All his commandments.
I got to observe. I have no choice.
All his commandments.
I got to observe all his commandments. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? And of course, this is a history class, and we're going to bring out some shit that's heavy to you. I promise you we are. Read.
Which I command thee this day.
Which Joe Biden told me.
Which I command thee this day.
What Donald Trump was talking about.
Which I command thee this day.
Hell, let's bring it on home. What Mayor Mike was talking about. I can't remember that little fat white boy's last name, but what Mayor Mike here in Detroit was talking about.
Which I command thee this day.
What that's telling me is I'm required to obey nothing but what the Most High command me to obey. All right? You understand what I'm saying? Now, one thing I want to do is bring out right now. If you haven't done it, I need you to, wherever you're looking at us from, I need you to like, subscribe, and share. And when you share, put some hashtags in there because that helps the algorithm. You see what I'm saying? It helps the algorithm. So I need you to like, subscribe, and to share right now. Now, if you don't like it, then get offline.
Right.
You ain't got to subscribe if you don't like it. But may the Most High choose between you and the I.S.U.P.K. How about that? Like, subscribe, and share so we can get that out here and get the algorithm because we are here. I want to say this as a side note. We do appreciate, I do appreciate that you brothers and sisters, y'all are listening to the I.S.U.P.K. Y'all listen to the priests and prophets of the Most High under Commander GEN.YAHANNA. I praise the Most High for that. How do I know? Because there was a brother in Alabama, guess what, that we didn't have to bury. Montgomery, Alabama, we didn't have to bury. Most times, if I could, heretofore, that means up until now, until that stuff happened down in Montgomery, every time a brother got into it in America with a group of white folk, we had a funeral. We had a funeral. Most times a brother get into it with a group of angry white folks that don't let them be drinking. We have a funeral. Not for the white folks, it'd be for the brother. So I do want to give y'all a shout out down there in Montgomery, Alabama for listening. And guess what? You know you can take our classes, you can share them everywhere we will not sue you for infringement, a copyright infringement. We ain't gonna do it. Not here. Take these classes, share them everywhere. Your friends, your families, share it. You understand what I'm saying? Share it with everybody. But tonight, I want to broach a subject that's heretofore damn near been taboo, if I could. Now, if y'all got any questions, put them in the chat room. We'll take a look. I'm going to answer them. If I cannot answer your questions, you know what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to consult the generals over me, get an answer to your question, and come back next week. So put any questions you might have in the chat. But tonight, what we really want to do is tear away a curtain, a veil, if I may, from over your eyes. The scales. I want to get the scales out of your eyes. And here's why, if I could. Ever since I've been in the I.S.U.P.K, I have been attacked. I watch my brothers and my sisters get attacked by y'all saying some Christian, Muslim, or Buddha bullshit. And Salakia, I'm not going to apologize. Because it be garbage. Y'all come at us with that garbage, right? I'm in the I.S.U.P.K. You know what the I.S.U.P.K teach? Can I do it? The Bible. The Bible. That's all we teach. You see what I'm saying? And let me explain black man, black woman. And get on your internet, go through your Google, you know what I'm saying? Do all your searches you want to do. And I want you to find me the antecedent. What happened before? Antecedent means something that happened before, right? What's the antecedent to, what's the brother down south killed up 60-something white people? You know what I'm talking about. Come on now. Not John Brown. Not Turner. Not Turner. 60, I think it says 66 white people that brother killed. What was the antecedent or what happened prior to him so-called losing his mind? Huh? I'm going to let you know for time's sake, he read a book. He read a damn book. And from reading that book, Nat Turner determined, well, damn, I got to kill up a whole bunch of white people. My question is to you, what book did he read? Throw it in the chat if you got it. Throw it in the chat if you got it. What book did Nat Turner read that caused him to go out and kill 60 plus white farmers in the Carolinas? Go ahead.
Scripture, sir.
He read the law, statute, commandments of the Most High. So that ought to give you a pause and say, So if Nat Turner read the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, the scriptures, and came to the conclusion, I'm killing every white people, every white person in way of my freedom, in way of my brother's freedom, in way of my sister's freedom, in way of my children's freedom. If he did all that, you know what you got to ask yourself? How could Salakia, how could the right reverend, I got to do that. I'm imitating Christians now. I got to imitate. The right reverend, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., which right there, his whole name is a lie. And grandma, y'all down south, I hate to crush your spirit, but every time you call him Martin Luther King Jr., the right reverend, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., you was lying to yourself, because on his birth certificate, what was his name? his original birth certificate, what was the name his mama and daddy put on there? It was Michael. It was Michael. That's why you hear us refer to him as Orgy Mike. It was years later that his name was changed to Martin Luther, because by that time they had figured out how they was going to get along in this oppressive society, in the oppressor's society. You understand? They had figured it out. Now, but tonight, now if y'all got questions, go ahead and put them in. I'm going to try to watch over here on my phone, but the computer way over there, we got on other pages and all that. I'm going to try to watch. But here's the issue. I'm going to show you something. You've been tricked this historically now. Historically. And tonight history is going to be, how do you say it? We're going to approach it, if I could, from a psychological perspective. Is that all right? From a psychological perspective. Find me that scripture that say, envy not thou oppressor. I can quote it, but I want you to find that and give me the chapter and verse so the people out there can know. Envy not thy oppressor. Give me that scripture right there. You got it?
Come.
Read loudly.
In the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
Stop right there. And the reason we finna come from this angle is because from a psychological perspective, if Freud was here, if Jung was here, if Anna was here, if Erickson was here, double majoring in the white man's in white man's college, double major. That's why I know them names, because they made me study. If they was here, they would tell you, black man and woman, so-called African man, Mexican man and woman, so-called Native American man and woman. For lack of a better word, you insane. And if I got any one of them professors I had to sit down and read the Bible, they would tell you not following the Bible is why you appear to be insane to the rest of the world. From the top, read that.
Come. Envy thou not.
Envy thou not. And I'm going to get to my subject, but here's the thing. We got a problem with that. Now, you know, I was in the military for a minute. I got to go to Panama, Mexico. The place that really messed me up, I got to go to Korea 2 different times for a year piece. And what I saw before I even came into the truth, just put a big ass question mark over my mind. You know what I saw? I saw Negroes hooking up with full-blooded Korean women, wifing them, and I ain't talking about just having sex. I'm talking about down to the chapel with the ring, the license, all of that, taking care of all of the damn cross the water papers, what you call that, passports and all that. Wifing Korean women just to see them get back here. She stayed with him long enough to make sure her green card is good, divorce him, and bring rest of her family here. That's why there's a Korean something in almost every black neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? You've been hoodwinked, you've been bamboozled, you've been tricked. I'm just going to tell you the whole thing from the front. But if you read the Bible, you see what I'm saying? If you take your time and go to some of these colleges, you got your computer, your phone is nothing but a computer. Do you know with this phone, I can go into Dartmouth, I got one of these authors came from one of them prestigious colleges I'm gonna pull up here in a second, right? I can go to Harvard, I can go to Princeton on my phone. But you want to go to TikTok and watch Hoochie Baby from the damn hood twerk while her 4-year-old daughter's sitting over there in the corner. Watch. And you understand how far you've fallen from the Most High. Read that scripture again.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 35. It's lucky, sir.
Read Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1.
We're in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 1. And it shall come to pass.
It shall come to pass.
If thou shalt hearken.
If. You know why we keep stopping right there? Because y'all ain't listening to nobody but your own damn lust. I ain't talking about no sister, no brother in the I.S.U.P.K. I'm talking about to these jakes out here. You know why we call y'all jakes? Because y'all rather be American. You think you a damn American. You ain't an American. Haven't your oppressor shown you enough that you ain't him? How has he shown you? Okay, Sandra Blaine. Huh? Take me to the young brother that we got a picture of him down in the building down here from Florida. What was his name? Come.
Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin. You understand? Understand? Alton Sterling. Understand? The brother got his neck, knee on his neck. They did the, go ahead. Eric Gardner. You understand? Go ahead. George Floyd. Call him out now. Call him.
Taylor.
Man, he went back. Y'all don't even know about that. Let me tell you, if you're under 40, unless you study, you just playing because you're going to raise your hand up. Breonna Taylor. That's way back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And Breonna Taylor wasn't no young sister, was she? She was an older sister in her 50s, wasn't she? Had some scissors in her hand or something, and they shot her to death.
So she was 26.
Well, that was the sister in the bed where they came to the apartment and just shot up the whole damn apartment. Right. And then guess what? You know one of the police officers got charged, right? Guess what he got charged for? The round he shot went into another apartment where some white folks live. And so he was charged for reckless endangerment. But they killed Rihanna. All them other folks that killed a woman that was not guilty of anything, was not threatening them. You see that? Okay. When you look around you, and I'm gonna deal with the city of Detroit. You might be in Indianapolis, you might be in Gary, you might be in Philadelphia, you might be in Oakland, you might be in L.A. You see what I'm saying? You might be in Nogales. Now you got to know something though when I say Nogales. You might be in Tulsa. You might be in Milwaukee, right? But every place in this United States of America, they say, according to their law, that they can kill you if you pose a threat. They can kill you. You see what I'm saying? If you oppose immediate and direct threat to law enforcement or persons or property, they can shoot you dead. You see that? Go ahead.
Lucky, sir, if I may. It's pretty heavy that you bring that out because when you think about it, it's almost like the average black person can name about 5 or 10 people who have been murdered in America. But when you think about it, we can't name any white people, or it's like anybody of our oppressors who've been not as bad.
So like this on me, right? I'll take the check. You know, I've been raised by some gruesome brothers, right? So I'll take the checking on this one. I'm teaching a class. If you want to say the devil, you want to say the white man, so I get a direct order that say I can't say him. You can say it in my class. I get the order, I'm gonna comply. And say, Salakia, you gotta say the oppressor. But man, I love this live because I just got checked, so say oppressor. But look, I love to be up in their face, because what we ain't got nothing. Watch this. Everything you get from the brothers that's over you, none of it, not one dot or one cross, none of it, not one iota of it is false or fake. It's the truth. I.S.U.P.K is the home of the truth. And look at here, I'm in Detroit. WXYZ, that's one of our TV stations, right? If you think you can prove that the I.S.U.P.K Detroit, based on our doctrine, is not the home of the truth for all of Michigan, Northeast Ohio, you know what I'm saying? What we got? Pittsburgh, whatever. We got camps everywhere. Ontario, Milwaukee. If you think the I.S.U.P.K is not the truth, you really believe that dumbass shit, right? Then call WXYZ and tell them you accept our debate, and we'll let them broadcast it. Understand, Wayne T? Bishop Ellis, are you listening to me? Huh? Craig, over there on Joy Road in Hubble. Get out from under your wife's apron string and step out here and learn something new, man. You my cousin. Coming to this truth. All we teach is the truth. You understand? Read, what you got?
Come. If thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all,
to hear and play the records of,
and to do all his commandments,
to jump around in the Christian church spitting out something nobody can understand,
and to do all his commandments,
to do all the miming and everything to the homosexual choir director's command,
and to do all his commandments.
Read.
Which I command thee this day.
What's going to happen?
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
And check this out. You know, I just took that personal. I took that scripture personal as hell. I might be a little emotional. Brothers might have to check me now. I took that personal. All you got to do, you don't got to, guess what? You know what the conscious community wants you to do? They want you to go buy 7 $450 books. Then when you read it, if you do that and read them, you know what you're going to prove you are? You're going to prove you are as smart as the conscious community. Let me show you how smart the conscious community is. They about as smart as a box of rocks. They ain't got the sense Yahawah gave a rubber duck. You understand? The truth is contained in them scriptures that you read every day, that we insist in this I.S.U.P.K, the Bible, that you read this every day. Study it. Teach it to your children. You understand? For the Bible said this is going to be your wisdom. This right here going to be your wisdom. Now, you can study Floyd. Is that his name? Sigmund Floyd? Sigmund Floyd. You don't know nothing about that. I studied him in college, so I know. That's right. Young, Erickson, all them cats. Those are all great psychologists. The father, the grandfather of psychology in America, his name is Sigmund Freud. But see, other folks studied up under him, like Margaret Sanger. Did you know Margaret Sanger studied psychology under them bastards? Margaret Sanger said, this is what Margaret Sanger said. Look at here. This eugenics project I'm working on. Let's go get these weak ass preachers. Because we gave them the slave Bible. And now we're going to go be nice to them. And y'all know this leading up to my subject. We're going to be nice to them and let them teach what they want to teach, like so long as they don't teach this, but just be nice to them. You know what that led to? That led to great-grandmamas. And I ain't putting it on y'all. It led to my great-grandmama handing down to me, my great-granddaddy. I had Big Mama and I had Papa Bud. I had my daddy, I had granddaddy, and then I had Papa Bud. His wife was named Big Mama. If I do not know Big Mama's name to this day. And I'm damn near 80. All my life, all that little skinny woman was, she was tired, was Big Mama. I have no clue. One of my sisters, if they listen to this, they may call me because here's one of the things I need you to do. If you have in your family, and this is a sidebar if I could, if you have in your family a Facebook hookup where y'all all in the group and it's just y'all family in the group so y'all can discuss family stuff, share these I.S.U.P.K videos in your group. Guess what I think they will not do? They not gonna put you out the group. They ain't put me out yet. I share everything. I share boo kisses. I'm telling you, I'm not playing with them now. But here's the deal. The Most High begged us just to follow his laws, statutes, commandments. That's all we had to do. Now we're getting into the history of it, but we did not. I can get Yashikar, Officer 500 Yashikar on the phone right now. He would say, Khan, we disobeyed the Most High. You can go to Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Read that for me. Read that for me. I'm sure going to set it up. Solaki Alawan, I'm going to set it up right here to get them videos in. Deuteronomy 28, start with verse 15. I think the first word in that sentence is but.
In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15.
All right.
But.
You know what? That word means, in spite of everything else you done heard us talk about, we finna switch it up. But, because we just said what? If you obey the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High, He gonna do what? Make you a great people over all the people on the face of the earth. Is that what Deuteronomy 28:1 say? Right. Now we're gonna go to Deuteronomy 28:15. He say, but if your dumb ass, excuse my language, want to keep celebrating Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthdays, Mother's Day, all that kind of shit, right? If your dumb ass want to keep celebrating Halloween and Sweetest Day, right? You don't want to celebrate the Day of Atonement. You don't want to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles. You don't want to celebrate the Passover. Read, but
it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken.
Hold on. That means if you ain't going to listen to the Bible. Now, I'm finna mess up everybody's grandmama. I'm just finna, can I do it? Here's the point. You look around, you want to know why your favorite grandbaby is in prison. Huh? You want to know why your son died at 39 when today he should be 80. If you want to know why you can't get ahead and all these blockhead and Salakia, that's a whole different slander that I learned in the army that wasn't in the I.S.U.P.K. That's what we used to call them over there, blockheads. That this blockhead is in your community with a Chinese restaurant, but it's ran by Koreans. Y'all don't hear me though. I can show you a number of them. Chinese restaurant, all, you know who run them? Koreans. It's just that over here in the land of plenty, they can put on paper what they want to put on paper. See that? But you want to know why all these foreigners are in your community. And here's what's important about that. Y'all know when I was 6 years old, it was okay for me to leave the house with some change in my pocket and walk a distance where mama could not see me, even if I went by myself. Mama could not see me. I went to the store, bought whatever I wanted, or bought what mother instructed me, because sometimes she would send it, and make it home and not be molested. That means not be bothered. I ain't talking sexual. I'm just saying not be bothered by anybody. And was going to be greeted 10 times before I got to the other end of the block. That's how Israelites live. But read where you at. Pick it up where you left off. But if thou not.
But if thou, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Okay, this is what it's saying. If I could, this book right here, if your grandmama is over 50, because some folk out there, their grandmama 32. Okay. If your grandmama over 50, she may have this book, if I could, on her coffee table in the living room. It's called the Holy Bible. Read what you just read one more time.
If thou wilt not hearken.
But if thou wilt not hearken
unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
The voice of the Lord, your God, Israelite, is in this book called the Bible. That's why when Nat Turner read it, he killed 66 white folks down there in the Carolinas. Because he read that, and guess what he discovered? Oh, I'm a damn Israelite. What the hell? That show how you... Hold on. Now the brother was blessed. He was blessed because the Most High revealed that to him. You know how I had to learn it? Under these harsh-ass brothers that's over me right now. You see? Israelites. You understand? We are Israelites. Now what we want to take a look at the thing because... Oh, go ahead. Finish reading that.
To observe. To do.
Okay. This is what he said. Verse 1 said, if you diligently hearken to observe and to do all his commandments, he's going to make you above all the people on the face of the earth. Verse 15 starts off, Salakia. However, if you do not observe and do, read.
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses,
all these what?
That all these curses,
all these what?
All these curses,
read,
shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
And do what?
And overtake thee.
I can hide in Alaska.
And overtake thee.
Maybe I should run and hide at the South Pole.
And overtake thee.
How about this? What if I hide in Egypt some damn where? Shall overtake thee.
And overtake thee.
What if I go to Ethiopia and try to hide from the Most High?
And overtake thee.
What if, watch this. What if I get really slick and take my ass up into the Caucasus Mountains and try to hide.
And overtake thee.
You understand? So this is what the Bible is saying, Negroes, if I could. You can run. You can run. Y'all know we ain't reading from no place but the Bible, right? You know we ain't making no conclusions about nothing except the Bible say we can. Right? So what if I go try to hide on the Indian reservation?
And overtake thee.
He said that these curses shall find my little black ass out and overtake me. And I you know what? We've been breaking down overtake ever since I was a trooper. Since I was a student, they've been breaking down. But you know, it really ain't that goddamn difficult to understand. If you want to know what overtake means, I want you to look at your son, your daughter, on their bicycles, and they're going to do, what? 5 laps around the block and win the race because all the uncles got together and say, whoever wins get $100. So every bike on the block came out behind that. You had to be under 12. You had to be under 13. So all the little kids got their bike, right? And do you know it's going to be a little 5 foot, it's going to be a little 4'3" something gun that take off faster than everybody because of his upbringing. But there's going to be somebody else that their upbringing taught them to be what? Steady the pace. Just steady. Consistent and steady. And you know what they're going to do to that fella? They got what? 5, 6, 7, 10 blocks to go around, right? Just a circle. NASCAR in the hood. That's what I call it, if I could. NASCAR in the ghetto. Everybody keep turning right, goddammit. That's all they do in NASCAR. Right? And it could be a little bitty sister in the back. That all she ever learned from home is never quit. And the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. She learned that from home too. I gotta say that. I can't open my mouth without saying that. Right? And so she just what? She just keep pedaling. She got her pace set and she doing her thing. Everybody's sprinting, falling back. And after about, I don't know how many, you know, I'm going to keep changing how many rotations, right? But say they go 20 rotations. Everybody spent but her, right? Because she been doing what? Constantly moving her feet at the same level, meaning the parallel would. All she doing is representing the truth. The truth looked like it was behind, but as they fell off, you look up, 250,000 laps later, the truth crosses the line as the leader. You look for the other competitors, they're not even in the goddamn race. We don't know where they went, but she was the only one that finished the race. You see, that's what this is talking about. We don't need to listen to nobody else but the law, statute, commandments of the Most High. Read.
Come. Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Okay, here's the whole deal. Deuteronomy, chapter 28, you come to verse 15. It talks about when you disobey the Most High. Verse 16, what's the first word?
Cursed.
This is what happens when you disobey the Most High. Right. You are what?
Cursed.
You cursed. And guess what? It ain't no eerie, spooky Hollywood bullshit. I'm going to tell you straight up. All you got to do, if you want to stop being cursed, what you think they need to do? So somebody answer that question. If you want to stop being cursed, what they say in the Christian world, well, we got this generational curse. If you want to stop that, what do you need to do as an individual that can help your whole damn family? If you want to stop these so-called generational curses, what do you think? Come, go ahead.
Hey, sir.
Uh-huh.
You have to keep these laws.
You got to start, God, you got to start obeying the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Now let me show you something. And this is historically true because, this is going to be a hell of a setup. This is about to be a hell of a setup. Watch Officer Kodash going to get some of this. We tell y'all, get me over in Revelations where it says, he who leads into captivity will go into captivity. He who kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. Get me that. Any of those words you can put in your concordance, you're going to bring that up. Revelations 14? You see what I'm saying? Because we finna hit the computers after this. We didn't get y'all a ton of scriptures. And the reason I'm going to this scripture is because I want you to understand, this is what Alva Kodash taught me years ago. You got to understand the why of the matter. The why. And, I still say, because the Most High said so. That don't work for everybody. Now watch this. Get that scripture I asked you for.
In the book of Revelation, chapter 13.
Chapter 13.
In verse 10.
I wasn't off by one chapter, but go ahead.
He that leadeth into captivity.
He that what?
Leadeth into captivity.
Stop. Here's what I want you to understand. America, Europe, Russia, China, look, and don't look at me like I'm stupid because it's been Israel against the world since the beginning, goddammit. Don't look at me like I'm stupid. It's been Israel against the whole world since Abraham got called out of the land of the Chaldeans. Y'all been trying to exterminate us. Read that again.
He that leadeth.
He that leadeth
into captivity.
Read.
Shall go into captivity.
Okay, watch this. That's talking about slavery in the earth. Not for everybody. But he that leadeth the children of Israel, if I could, into captivity. Can you say, what's the word they used for it before they changed it? They call it migration now. The middle passage. The middle passage, right? Those of you who are responsible, even though your fathers be dead, those of you who are responsible for bringing the children of Israel into slavery in the, I'm finna mess them up with a word, Western Hemisphere. You understand what I'm saying? You put the children of Israel in the slavery in the Western Hemisphere. And here's what the Most High really pissed off about. Issachar Manasseh, Ephraim, Salakia, they wasn't bothering y'all. But rest of the northern 10 tribes, they got on their vessels, navigated their way to this hemisphere and start making a living. Dan, you know what I'm saying? Start making a living over here. And then you send that bastard Christopher Columbus over here. You understand? And no, I'm not biting my tongue. He was a bastard. He wasn't worth the 2 dead flies. How about that? You see what I'm saying? And let me show you how all this meet together, because all y'all so-called academic Negroes, y'all real smart Negroes, been to school forever, right? And you still a goddamn baby mama. So school didn't help you with that shit. School didn't help you not disrespect yourself by sleeping with a man that you didn't declare to be your husband and who didn't declare you to be his wife. according to the law, statute, commandments of the Most High, with all your intelligence you learn from the heathen school, right? You still can't see the wisdom of the law, statute, and commandments of the Most High. Now we finna break it down. I'm gonna show you how this works. Historically, in America anyway, once they got beyond their barbaric, they were barbarics. Barbaricism, is that a word? I'm gonna make it up if it ain't. Barbaricism. Once they got beyond that, guess what they started to see? Going back, studying under European professors, all that. That if you have someone who is being, and I'm just going to use an example, it can be physical, it can be mental, or whatever. I'm going to use it this way though. Someone who's being sexually assaulted, right? Someone that's being sexually assaulted, if it continues over the years, it's going to produce a particular type of traumatic syndrome found in what? The Psychology of America. Look it up. It's called rape trauma syndrome. This is what it looked like. You take a child, boy or girl, it don't matter, and some lecherous adult come along, groom them, and then take sexual advantage of them, right? Guess what the law say should happen? What's the first thing the law is going to do in that situation? Go ahead.
That's it.
La. The very first thing, say you a stepfather, not you. There's something in the news about a stepfather messing with his daughter, right? His stepdaughter. The first thing the law is going to do is what? Remove the victim from the influence of the perpetrator. Am I right? A woman, she live in this apartment building, and she friends with everybody. She's friendly like that, and the fella upstairs and the fella downstairs decide to get together and rape her. Guess what? The landlord gonna eat rest of that rent because the law gonna require her to move out of that apartment building. Why? The first thing you do when rape or sexual assault occurs is remove the influence of the perpetrator from over the victim, because the victim complied because they are victim. You understand? And from rape, if I could, there's some things that develop. One is called rape trauma syndrome. You understand? Rape trauma syndrome. Can you pull that up on your phone? Hold on. The brother's finna pull it up. Is that it right there, sir? Understanding. That's a traumatic slave. It's another one. To the right of that. To the right. I can't see the title on that one. What that say? It's not it. Oh. But it says rape trauma RT. There it is in the red to the right. That's it. Now watch this. If I could, Adawan, Baba Kashai, I don't mean to bother you, but if I could I get you to scroll up on that to where it talks about the symptoms. What does rape trauma syndrome look like? And the reason I'm bringing this up, right? The reason I'm bringing this up. Hey, get me that scripture that say, if a woman be in the city and the brother forces himself on her and she does not scream, she's to die too. You see, and here's the assertion, if I could. You've been raped, Negroes. You've been raped, Native Americans. You've been raped, so-called Mexicans. You've been raped. You've been violated. Okay. I'm a con. You can't get killed no more. You got to get unalive. The con. Something has happened to you, and that means some other things should automatically kick in. You got that other one? Rape trauma syndrome. Let's go down to the area where it say, what happens to the victim? What does it say, if we could? And if we can show it to the audience, that'd be great. I can't read that. So, do you have it over there? Do you have what he have? Just hand him the mic, please. Because watch this. I'm going to show y'all something. You know, Malcolm said you was hoodwinked. You've been bamboozled. You see what I'm saying? But I'm saying you have been abused and used terribly. Read what you got up there. And go to your left a little bit so I can see where you're at. Okay, there you go. Perfect. Start where the title is. See that title that's right there? What does it say? Read that title. That little, right in the middle between the two paragraphs. No, down, right, nope, up, right there. Come.
Major.
No. The title is the biggest letters. The letters are bigger than everything else between the two paragraphs. Come down. That's not on there. Down. Yes, it is. Don't move. Please don't move the page. That is, the paragraph is below. There's a paragraph in front. It got space between that one little line right there. What does it say?
Rape trauma syndrome.
Boom. That's what I want you. This is what we're reading. Rape trauma syndrome. First line below that.
Is related to post-traumatic stress disorder.
Hold on. What is post-traumatic stress disorder? Is there an abbreviation for that? An acronym? What is it?
PTSD.
Rape trauma syndrome is related to PTSD, which is, watch this, every psychiatrist in all of the world, I'm going to say all of the Western world, I don't know what they're doing in China and them, but in all the Western world, they recognize this as a bona fide medical situation. Read, give me the first 4 lines on that.
What is more specific
to
sexual assault.
Keep reading a little faster. Keep it a little smoother. Don't stop so much.
RTS describes symptoms of trauma, including disruptions to normal physical, emotional, cognitive, and interpersonal behavior.
Read that line one more time. To include?
RTS describes symptoms of trauma, including disruptions to normal physical, emotional, cognitive, and interpersonal behavior.
One more time for me and the audience. Including what?
Including disruptions to normal physical.
Hold on. Disruptions to normal physical. Emotional. Cognitive.
And interpersonal behavior.
Y'all know that's all found. You can find all that kind of teaching over in Harvard, Yale, Princeton. So you know this ain't no garbage. All right, bring me up post-slave stress syndrome or whatever that's called, disorder. What was this disorder right here? What was this disorder?
Rape trauma syndrome.
Rape trauma syndrome is closely connected to what? What they said the other one? PTSD? Post-traumatic syndrome. What the one we bringing up now?
PTSD.
We just did, what the one we just did?
We just did the RTS, which is rape.
Okay, that was the one we want. You had the one up. No, we just did that one. The other one we want. Right there. What is the one right here? What does it say? Understanding what?
Post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Hold on right there. We're going to get this together. This is what I'm trying to get you to look at, Israel. Rape trauma syndrome. Post-traumatic. Here, what? Let me ask you this. What would you do? Okay. I'm going to ask y'all here in the class. What would you do? Brother come to you for counsel. Even though you're a student, you're an officer 5,000. Brother come to you for counsel. My niece just came to me and say her mama's boyfriend is taking sexually advantage of me and I'm 10 years old. What's the first thing you want to do besides kill him? But what's the first thing you're going to do logically? Read. Go ahead.
If I may, sir,
Come.
remove the young lady away from the...
You're going to do what with the perpetrator and the victim?
Separate.
You're going to separate them. Are you ever going to allow him to be in contact with her again? You see what I'm saying? Let's read this Understanding Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. Now, you remember what they said the rape syndrome was, some of the things about that. See if this don't sound familiar. Read.
Count on one time. Ongoing racial injustice in the U.S. highlights the entrenched trauma that African Americans have experienced.
Scroll up. Go down some. Go down some. I need you to go lower than that. You too far at the beginning of the thing. Roll that to where you come down. You're going to see something look like an outline. You're going to see something look like an outline, and the title is going to be Post-Slave. Shalam Yahawah Bahasham, if you could, because he keeps going past it. It's someplace in the middle where he's going. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Right, it's right in there. What do that say right there?
PTSS.
What is PTSS?
Post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Read.
Has similarities.
Has what?
Has similarities.
Has what?
Has similarities.
Now let me stop you right now. We just read rape traumatic syndromes was very similar to post-traumatic stress syndrome or PTSD. Read.
To the more widely known diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder.
Hold it, wait a minute. Did we just read that two different psychological distress syndromes or traumatic syndromes both link back to post-traumatic stress? Is that what we just read? Read.
Similar signs of the two include avoiding certain places.
All right, avoiding certain places. Do you know that when a rape victim, if she got raped in the bathroom, you may have to build an out, especially if she's young, you may have to build an outhouse for her. Because she ain't trying to go back in that bathroom no more. Read.
People or activities and events that may remind the individual of the trauma or experience.
Hold your peace. Here's the deal, right? Every family reunion, a family barbecue she went to, half-ass, gay-ass Uncle Oscar took her behind the woodshed and made her suck his penis. She don't never want to go to no more family reunions. She don't want to go to no more barbecue. Read.
Difficulty concentrating, feeling jumpy, or being easily angered.
That's right. And Salakia, I ain't trying to put none of my personal business out there, but the brothers will tell you under certain circumstances, I'm a nervous motherfucker. Excuse my language. I'm nervous as hell, right? The water capitals are, y'all. I'm nervous as hell under certain circumstances. And the reason I said that because counseling in the I.S.U.P.K. bring you through all of this. You see what I'm saying? You get the right counseling, you come through all of this. But this is what I'm pointing out to you. The exact same symptoms that come from rape trauma syndrome is all the same symptoms that Negroes in America is suffering, if I could, under, what is it called?
Post-traumatic slave syndrome.
It's the same goddamn thing. It's the same goddamn thing. You can drop that. It's the same goddamn thing. Because that's the point I want to make. In other words, if you're going to treat an individual sexual assault victim this way, it's the same way all of Israel should be treated in America. Separate us from our goddamn oppressors. You don't hear me now. Do you know right now if the phone was the ring, that phone in the back was the ring, and it's a 14, 15, even it could be a 25-year-old. Well, these men over here, and you know I'm in the school, these men over here, and they fucking with me sexually. They bother me, they abusing me sexually. One phone call to be made, every brother gonna go to that point, and that's what they're gonna do. Separate the victim from the perpetrator. You understand? Do you know that is the easiest restraining order you can get? If you happen to be the victim, the victim of someone's nastiness, if you have been sexually abused by somebody, you can particularly point them out, automatic personal protection order. You ain't never got to, and guess they bring the National Guard out so you don't have to deal with that individual. So why won't, you know what they did to Marcus Garvey when he said we going back to Africa? I ain't saying he was right, but he was trying to separate the people from the oppressor. They put him in jail, and they brought their forces against him until he died penniless. He died penniless in Jamaica. Why? Because they do not want to have us separate from them. They want to keep us close to them to the point that they can still control us. Can somebody find me Stockholm Syndrome? Find me Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome is the reason they want to keep you close to them. If I could, can you go back and read that definition? He got it up on the screen right now. You got it on the screen right now. And read it slow and deliberate.
The definition of Stockholm Syndrome.
Now, go ahead.
Stockholm Syndrome is a proposed condition.
Stop. It is a condition. Take propose out. That's what they write on there because they want niggas to doubt. It is a condition. All right? They already proved it. Well, look at here. I'm stealing this from my other one before he can use it at his next camp speaking. Guess what? It's a proposed condition. You know why they put proposed in there? Because they know the I.S.U.P.K. is going to use it to explain about what niggas are going through. Now, if they were talking about Edomites in New Mexico, it would be simply a condition.
Right.
Proposed meaning, we don't know if it's for real. So leave that word out. Go.
Stockholm Syndrome is a condition.
It's a what?
A condition.
One more time.
Is a condition.
Read.
In which hostages.
What?
In which hostages.
Read.
Develop a psychological bond. With their captors.
Keep reading.
It is supposed to result from a rather specific set of circumstances, namely the power imbalances contained in hostage taking.
That's why we read everything. Read that where it say them imbalances. Give me at the beginning of the sentence where imbalance is.
Namely, the power imbalances.
It's the power imbalance. You see what I'm saying? Stockholm syndrome. But they say, watch this. Rape trauma syndrome, post-slavery syndrome, right? Both relate very closely back to what? Stockholm syndrome. And it relates to what? When it comes to power, it relates to what?
Power imbalances.
You know, one of the very things they like to say about the slave victims and the supporters of slave victims, it had not slave victims, but sexual assault victims, it had nothing to do with sex. It's all about the what?
Power imbalance.
It's all about the power. Guess what slavery was all about?
The power
imbalance. You see what I'm saying? It's the same goddamn thing. It's the same thing. I dare any of you psychologists to prove me wrong. Because if you try, I'm calling Jim Hyman. You know what I'm saying? I'm calling Jim Hyman. Watch. And if anybody sees this, share it with Jim Hyman. I bet you don't. If I'm wrong, he gonna call me and say, officer, what the hell? Don't teach that shit no more. It's the same thing. So what do you do with a rape victim when you know this is a rape victim of this particular perpetrator? What do you do between them? Go ahead.
sir.
Separate them. You separate them. I'm gonna show you some proof. Did that shit work? Before we got all intellectual with this shit, we came up out of slavery, right? Within 30 years after niggas coming out of slavery, what the hell had they built? On their own. They couldn't be around white folk. It wasn't that we refused, they just didn't want us around them. So we went to we went into the distant land away from them, and what did we build? Go ahead.
Hey, sir, we built our own community.
We built Black Wall Streets with an S, if I could. Goddamn right. Seneca Village, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Name the one here. Paradise Valley in Detroit. Black Wall Streets. You know why? We got separated from our rapists. Oh, I'm going to use that until the generals tell me to stop. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, and he is our rapist. He's our rapist. Why you want to cross 8 Mile? Why you want to tolerate him coming into our community? They've done way more than sexually assault us, if I could. You see what I'm saying? Why do you think we suffer from the same syndrome? Why do you think what Negroes suffer from is so kin to what rape victims suffer from? See that? They both suffer from post-traumatic stress syndrome or disorder. They call it disorder. Disorder is the small part of it. Syndrome, that you know that's nationwide. I still suffer from it. Don't you know it's certain type, certain way movements, certain stuff that happens that white folks can't do around me unless I got a bunch of brothers around me, because they need to grab me because it's triggering. That's what they talk about in that rape traumatic syndrome. Certain things trigger the victim to re-suffer that bullshit. You see what I'm saying? To re-suffer it mentally. And they can't get ahead. Go ahead.
Like it's about me, that's heavy because it kind of comes full circle and it makes you think that's why they don't want to teach us the truth in school, with the whole critical race theory thing. Because
like if I could, I don't think it's not that they don't want to teach us the whole critical race theory. It is because, now watch what they do in America. What should they do? They don't want you to come live next door to them. Huh? Wherever LeBron James lives, it's probably the majority white people around him, right? Probably oppressors around him. And so therefore, you know what he can count on? Let me get that last one over there. You know what he can count on? Nigga is going to be scrawled on his garage. Yeah, that last corona. Nigga, the word nigga going to be scrawled on his garage. I don't give a damn if he worth $500 million. You know what they're going to do to LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Usher, Gabrielle Union, and Dwayne Wade in the neighborhoods they live? Just when they decide not to go along with what the oppressor wants them to represent, the word nigga is going to be written on their garage. You understand what I'm saying? What do you call a nigga to make $500 million a year? What you looking for? Can they still hear us? Okay, don't worry about that then. We'll find it. But just take the top off the other one and put it on top of that. If it's that serious to you, pull it off. Is it glued on? Okay. No problem. But here's the deal. What do they call a nigga that live in the middle of the KKK that make $500 million a year? Go ahead.
$1 million slave, sir.
No, they call him a rich nigga. A rich nigga. He's still a nigga. My point is, you know what a nigga, once you've been called a nigga by a white person, you know what that means, right? You better be able to run real fast. Because the next thing, they want to hang your ass from a poplar tree. The strange fruit still exists today. And you better be able to zigzag today because they ain't got just ropes. They got 9mm. They got AKs. They got AR-15. You better be able to zigzag a little bit. A nigga is still a nigga is still a nigga among our oppressors. What's my point? Let's be logical about this. Science says, psychological science, and we just pulled it up on the internet. All that stuff we read, right? Was I making it up, or was that from some other psychologists out there in the world? Right? The same effect prolonged sexual abuse has on the individual is the same effect that slavery has on the black man and woman and child. Period. America know, England know, Germany know, France know, Switzerland know, Ireland know, hell, Turkey know. I say Europe knows. The oppressor knows that this particular type, if I could, of oppression destroys the individual. If it's a collective of individuals, like in sex trafficking, it destroys the whole group in a certain way. It's the exact same way that the slavery, the curse, he said, it shall what? Overcome. Is that what it said? It shall find you and overcome you, right? That's what we've been overcome with. That's what we've been overcome with. It's the exact same thing. Can't you see it? If I could. Can't you see it, man? Can anybody see that? Or are you going to keep going for the Creflo Dollars and the TD Snakes and the Bishop Ellis's and what's that fellow over on Grand River? What's his name? I know his family. I can't remember. I haven't had a brain fart. Not the Winans, right? Not the Winans. They're on Nevada. The Winans on Nevada. Them two, they're included. Wayne T. Jackson. The Jacksons. Wayne T. Over on Grand River, straight gate. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to teach you that. None of these folks going to teach you that. You know why? Because they paid off. I'm going to tell y'all something that's real interesting. I might get checked on this one. Y'all know you're apologizing to the Jewish people. Boy, Nick Cannon showed up in Detroit today, right? Come. Showed up here, and watch this. And watch this. This why I praise the Most High to high heavens, because of Commander General Yohanna and how we got rank and order up in here. Officer 1000 Kazak, he's the one man. He is the man that is like that much outrank me. That much. I'm so proud of him. Of this weekend, Saturday, you know what he did? Back to basic. That's some old shit. Salakia. Back to school bash for the children in Highland Park. You know what Nick Cannon showed up for? That's right. Big up. And we had a ball. If you didn't make it, sucks to be you. I mean, I was so happy and amazed with what I saw the Most High doing and what this brother put together, that I just set my ass at the grill and flip hamburgers and chicken and hot dogs. That's it. I didn't need to get involved in nothing else because I was that pleased to see the Most High doing his work. And guess who he reached out to? The least of these, my brethren and sister. Guess what happened on Sunday? Nick Cannon came here and he teamed up with somebody called Wayne State University. And guess what they had up at Wayne State? Back to school. Yeah. Now, here's the tricky thing about it. And I ain't putting Nick down. He trying. At least he put his neck out there and got it chopped off. He found that. But see, he got to make up his mind. Nick got to make up his mind. What's more important? Obeying the Most High or getting that bag? I don't mean to touch close to home. All of us got to decide that. What's more important? What's more important? Find that scripture, you cannot love two masters. Look, you my forever student, so I know you damn to know the officer's test by heart. Give me that precept. Where did you find that?
Khan. We're in the book of Matthew.
Book of Matthew.
Chapter 6, verse 24.
And the only reason we do it like that, Negroes, is so you can go look in your own Bible.
Right.
I don't want you to believe a damn word I say if it ain't backed up by the Bible. Right. If it ain't backed up by the Bible. You understand? That rape stuff, that rape trauma syndrome, and what's this? Post-slavery stress syndrome? Watch this. Bet you can find both of them in the Bible. I bet you can find both of them in the Bible. We're dealing with this right here first. All right? Read.
Khan. In the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 24.
What does it say?
No man can serve two masters. No man can serve two masters.
Wait a minute. LeBron James can serve two masters.
No man can serve two masters.
Commander General Yohanna can serve two masters if he wants to, because he's the Commander General.
No man can serve two masters.
General Muhammad can serve two masters because he's the baddest. A family counselor, a marriage counselor, the baddest psychologist I've ever met. General Muhammad can serve two masters. Is that true?
No man can serve two masters.
Y'all better get this right now. Ain't nobody is what? We not, what's that word when you don't, what's that word, cause you know, that's holy word, so he gonna know what I'm talking about. He knows them words, right? I'm not, It applies to everybody else, but it doesn't apply to me. What is that called? Exempt. Is that right? Nobody's exempt to this. Read that again.
No man can serve two masters.
What's going to happen if he try?
For either he will hate the one and love the other.
One more time. For what?
For either he will hate the one and love the other.
And I got a few minutes. I'm going to show you what has happened. Now they went through all of this. Let me show you what's going on. You've been messed up so bad, so-called Negro, so-called Negress, so-called Latina, so-called Latino, so-called Native American man, so-called Native American woman. You've been messed up so bad that you know what you do? You love your oppressor. Look in the mirror. I ain't gonna say you hate other Israelites. I ain't gonna say you hate other niggas. No, you look in the mirror and hate your goddamn self. Huh? That's why you have your daughter twerking in preschool. What's that syndrome for the slave? Go ahead.
Post-traumatic slave syndrome.
That's why your daughter is twerking at 3 years old, goddammit. You got post-traumatic slave syndrome. It's related to what? What's that? It's related to?
PTSD.
PTSD, which comes from Stockholm Syndrome. Y'all get it? Y'all get it? You've been... Malcolm, the Most High, and we ain't Muslims now. Shit, we definitely ain't Muslims. And guess what? We ain't even trying to be Christians. But the Most High preserved the truth for you to get it when you need it. Malcolm said you've been hooked. I mean, you've been tricked. You've been hoodwinked. That's it. Hoodwinked. You've been bamboozled. And guess what? You want to run up against us? Let me explain something. We got vocabulary. And we will use, what was that word we looked up? It said that, in one of them articles said they should be excoriated. Yeah, don't mess with us. We come up with some word that have your grandmama scratching her head. You see what I'm saying? We study this. Watch this, because the Most High has put Commanding General Yahanna down here and gave him what we need to do. He passed it down to them generals. Them generals passed it down to them captains of 13,000. Them captains of 13,000 passes them captains of 10,000. Passes them officers of 5,000. And guess what? It makes it all the way down to what? The next brother that walked through the door for the first time. Because none of this changes. None of this changes. Again, I got to say, big ups to Montgomery, Alabama. All I can say is thanks for listening. If you had not been listening, that brother would have died. If you have been continuing listening to your Christian pastor, that brother would have died. And I don't care how much, when we put this out here, I don't care how much them Christian pastors jump up and down and shout and all that. Well, what heretofore, what has happened? Niggas been dying in the street at the hand of the oppressor and the hand of each other. And guess what? Y'all been the ones that been the moral conscious of black people. And with the Christian church in charge, Job, it's in Job, when evils are in charge, the people mourn. When the righteous in charge, find out. Y'all been the one in charge. Y'all been the one in charge. Because I'm telling you, until 2017, I couldn't tell you nothing. Prior to 2017, I couldn't tell you nothing about the I.S.U.P.K. So y'all was in charge of me, and I still was a fool. I'm going to tell you straight up, a straight up fool. you see. But when I came into the I.S.U.P.K, they say, look, Majum, stand straight and stiff and still. And guess what they wanted me to do? Hear the word of the power of Israel. That's all the brothers. They didn't ask me to go sell no drugs. They didn't ask me to go steal no cars. They didn't ask me to become part of a booster crew. They didn't ask me to go. They didn't even ask me to pick up a baseball bat and go kill white people. They say, stand still and know that the Most High represented in the Bible is the Most High over all the earth. What's that? What's that scripture? Know, Israel, that the Lord your God is one. Huh? That's all they asked me. That's all they said to me. I ain't no super smart guy either. I say I'm in the truth because the Lord had mercy on me. Rest of y'all, if you don't want to come to the truth, I'm gonna do Officer Shawat. I'm gonna throw my hands up. I can't help you, man. Have at it. I pray you follow me back to 12355 Gratiot into the school of I.S.U.P.K. Detroit. But if you want to go out there, then you go. But for a history class, we want to let you know the Most High know what he doing. He just made it plain. All this shit is a set. And you have no reason not to let us separate from the white man. And Negroes, if I could, you Negroes, you got no reason to stay with the white man. Why you the oppressor? One more scripture, and then I'm gonna be done. They seek, what's that scripture out of one? They seek salvation from a nation that cannot save them. That cannot save them might be the phrase you need. You see, they want to be politically correct. They want to be consciously correct. They want to be religiously correct. But none of that can save them. The only thing that can save them is returning. Only thing that can save us. Read.
The book of Lamentations.
Lamentations. Watch this, and this is my last scripture.
Chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes, as yet failed for our vain help.
That's right, because we look at whatever we looking at is vain. You know what vain means? Nothing. Read.
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
You understand, Israel? ISUPK.com. You can find every one of our camps anywhere. We're not playing with y'all. The brother just read from the Bible. We don't make this up. I'm not that damn smart. The brother didn't make this up. You understand? Historically, watch this. I'm going to give you a quick rundown, and then I'm going to bring it right back to Commander General Yahawah. We got Eli Whitney and the brother that made the cotton chain. Then we got Frederick Douglass, whose mama was black and daddy was white, so he wasn't even a nigga. Then we come on up the chain of time. We come across folks like E.W.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington, George Washington Carver, right? Didn't help us that much. Now, George Washington Carver and Booker T, they was all about getting paid from our oppressor, but teaching our brothers and sisters to be excellent at what they do. They was right. And then we come up to Marcus Garvey. This Negro. I ain't mad at the brother. But he was the brother that bought them ships, got that money from the people and said, let's send them all back to Africa. Let us all go back to Africa. Because he really believed we were African. So then we keep coming up forward in the history, we get Thurgood Marshall and say, well, shit, can we go to school with the white people? Can we get the same books the white group? You know why I say Thurgood Marshall? He argued the Brown versus the Board of Topeka case in front of the Supreme Court back in 1954. Now, and he himself became a Supreme Court justice. First black Supreme Court justice. But what did that say? Still trying to fit in with the white folks. See that? Bringing on up to Martin King, I have a dream that one day sons of slave owners going to sit down at the table of brotherhood with the sons of slaves. But you know he sold us out, right? And then we bring it up to 1969 when them brothers over in Harlem got it together. And then when they handed the torch over to Commander General Yohanna, that brought us up to today. That's history now. Where we what? We think integration was the dumbest thing. That's the dumbest shit that ever happened that we ever did, was to integrate with the white man. That was just dumb as a box of rocks. You know what I'm saying? But y'all hold on to that. With that, we finna get out of here. My last scripture. I am priest, officer 1000 Mashah out of I.S.U.P.K. Detroit under Commander General Yohanna. I'm going to say Shalam Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi barak ahtham, and Shalam Yahawah Shamar ahtham Bahasham Yahawashi. And look at here. Remember, Commander General Yohanna going to the UK. What's that? The priest of what we celebrating over there? The priest of what? Tabernacles? The priest of Tabernacles in King James Castle. Let me see if I can find the security announcement. They're over here somewhere. You want me to say? Okay. And these are the security announcements. Imagine. We are the I.S.U.P.K. started on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister come into the school, they are off limits. 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. That's why we put on that all black. If they need transport, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if the brother and sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months which the brother and sister will court. After this 6 months, period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8 through 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'asharat. 10% of every penny of increase, any increase, the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund. If that is a free will offering for priests, it's not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation, we got the Feast of Tabernacles. What day is that, sir? September 28th, the Feast of Tabernacles. Oh, we got the Memorial of Blowing the Trumpet, September 15th, and then after that is the Feast of Tabernacles on the 28th. Any brother that want to come into the school, what you need to do is start wearing all black. That's boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and scarf. And with that, Hamajim Shabbat, Hamajim Barak, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi barak ahtham, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi barak ahtham. Dismiss.